What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cherry Pit Live, Season 1, Episode 3. I'm just excited for the show today. We got some cool stuff we're going to talk about, and we have a special musical performance from Bellevue Suite. I am sore as all heck today because I went paintballing yesterday with some buddies for a bachelor party. It was the first time I ever did it. If you haven't done it before, and even if you're 36 like me, I recommend you do it. It was so much fun. We had a blast. I can't move really right now, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun and definitely worth the pain the next day. It was awesome. I just came back from Arizona. I was doing audio for a podcast for the guys in Triple B that we had on the show last episode. The weather was fantastic. I got to see the Brewers play in spring training. I can't tell you how great it felt to watch a Brewer game after all this time in the Corona day and age. And I am super excited because I'm going to opening day on April 1st. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to end up tailgating at a buddy's house because they're not allowed tailgating. Got some new rules this year, doing the whole cashless thing and stuff. I'm excited just to see Brewers baseball, roll with the punches, and get it going. So Bellevue Suite's going to be playing later today, and I haven't done this before, so we're going to do it today. I've had a few requests. They're like, hey, why don't you talk to the band a little bit? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Bellevue Suite, are you guys here? We got at least two of them, I know. You can bring them in. Bring them on in. Come on in. We have Mike and Jeremy from Bellevue Suite in the house. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How are you, sir?
How are you?
Doing excellent. Thanks for coming in on a Sunday to perform here. So Bellevue Suite, you guys have been around the Milwaukee music scene for a while, right? When did you first start the band?
Oh, shoot. The year?
I think it was 1999
1999.
or 2000.
So you guys have
Right
been a
around
band
there.
for 22 years?
I thought it
I
was.
hadn't thought about it. I hadn't thought about
may
it
have
that way, but
been a few more, I think, actually.
Wow. And now, what was the original lineup with Bellevue Suite, and how did that start?
Jeremy and I, and
Okay.
Danny, and Ches was the original bass player. Or,
Gabriel
drummer.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Animal.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then, so how'd you come up with the name Bellevue Suite?
Shane Brandenburg has to get all credit for that.
Really?
Yeah,
came up with it, yeah.
We needed a band name. And he just rattled it. He's just rattled it off, and we were like, yeah, it's perfect.
And it stuck with you guys for
Yeah.
all these years, 22 plus years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, I know I used to play in a band called Maraschino way back long ago, and before we could get into bars, you guys would be getting us into bar shows.
Yeah.
One of our first gigs ever was in like the upper level of this bar in West Dallas, and I think I was like 19.
Yeah.
I was just out of high school,
Yeah.
and Mike's like, hey, come play this bar show with us. The owner's cool with it as long as you don't drink and like you get out right away, because that was the rule.
Yeah.
You know, if the owners let you play and you were underage, you got to get the heck out of there as soon as you're done.
Sure.
But yeah, we go way back, man. Those are the days.
Yeah.
So things have changed since then, haven't they?
A little bit.
Yeah, I remember shows used to be very, very exciting.
But yet they kind of stay the same, don't they? Things change,
Yeah.
but they stay the same.
Yeah, you could argue that either way, I'm sure. So, what do you guys got coming up in the future here for your band? I know we just finished a single for you guys
Yeah.
that you're going to be releasing in the future. Is there more to this, or are you going to be?
Yeah, we actually had a lot of progress before the whole thing happened. We
we were
making
kind of on a
great
roll
progress.
there, a
Yeah.
creative roll. And
Nice.
So we have several demos. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So yeah, I mean, maybe we can get together and do some more.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, the last one was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
You know, 100 guitar tracks or whatever it ended up being.
It was pretty, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a lot of guitar work on that, yeah.
Yeah. So, now the song that you're performing today is Just Love. And I know back when you guys recorded it, you guys had Hannah Ford play the drums for that song years ago, many years ago. And I know Hannah Ford, after she played with Bellevue Suite, she ended up getting a gig doing what?
Yeah, Prince snapped her up.
Prince.
Yeah.
So your drummer that you had in your band went on to play drums for Prince after your band.
She went from our band to Prince's band. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
cool.
How cool is that to have a band that, like, hey, you know, drummer for Prince was our drummer.
Yeah.
Oh,
before.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty incredible story, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were super happy for her. Sad to lose her.
Yeah.
Because you know we were getting some momentum at that
Yeah.
moment with her, but
She's a great drummer, man. Oh,
yeah,
that was so much fun. That was back when I started the studio out of my parents' basement. I remember, recording you guys down there with that, and I was begging you guys to record with me for years. Yeah. And you finally came and did a couple songs, and one of those songs ended up on an Oscar-nominated movie. What song was that, and what was the movie?
For the Love of God.
Yeah, For the Love of God made it on there, and it was the title is escaping me at the moment.
Hell or High Water.
There it is.
Yep.
It's a great movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually watched it.
It's a great movie.
It was fun.
I love
Little
that
cops
movie.
and robbers, old school,
Yeah.
Western type thing. So, all right. So, last thing I want to talk about. So, Jeremy, you've been in Bellevue Suite since the beginning, and you've recently gotten some other gig offers too. In addition to doing stuff with Bellevue Suite, I know you've been on the road with Disturbed before.
Yeah, for the last couple tour cycles with those guys.
How does that happen? Like, what's the process of?
It happened because of being in the music scene, being in an original band, being creative. That kind of got me on the radar of Mike, the drummer.
Sure.
He's not originally from here, but he moved into the area a number of years ago.
Okay.
And so
We've all hung out plenty of times.
he started to come around and became an advocate of our band, a fan of our band, and years later, I mean, Bellevue actually opened up for Disturbed, and but
Wait, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Where?
yeah,
When?
down it was in Illinois, suburb.
No
of Illinois,
way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
and
Connections.
Art of Dying.
Art of
There's
Dying.
us, Art of Dying, and then Disturbed.
Yeah.
Art of Dying. The singer broke his megaphone, and I had to lend him my megaphone at Summerfest or something because we played with him one year, and he ended up like PayPaling me $100 for a megaphone.
Nice.
Because I was like, "Hey man, can I have that back?" He goes, "I kind of want to keep it. Can I send you money?" And I was like, "Sure." Johnny was his name, I believe. But yeah, Art of Dying. Just that had to be incredible.
Yeah.
It was a before the album was released for Indestructible.
It
right?
was.
Oh.
Yeah,
And they did a surprise.
as the Indestructibles.
Yes.
It was a
No way.
Yeah, it was like a secret show.
Yeah.
Or what was they used to Blind Date? Remember they used to have something called Blind Date where they had like these huge bands play smaller clubs.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys-
It was.
yeah.
It was a lot like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. So nobody knew it was Disturbed.
Nobody knew, but
it was. Yeah,
Some people
it was-
knew.
yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few people I think knew.
Well, how big was the venue then?
It was.
big.
Yeah. It was like maybe.
Rave Room.
Yeah. It's like
Really?
the rave room. It was
Wow.
about that size.
So pretty big.
Yeah.
You guys had a party going on there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. Incredible, man. All right. Well, I'm excited for you guys to perform today. It's going to be really cool.
But to finish his story, they ended up going. He ended up touring with Mike and Dan in Fight or Flight.
That's right.
That's really.
Yeah. That's
Bandcamp.
Yeah. Okay. So that's exact.
Yeah, because
So
I saw you
that's-
guys at Bandcamp. So Fight or Flight happened,
Right.
and then
Fight or Flight happened. I got a phone call kind of, Mike was, like I said, an advocate of our band for many years.
Sure.
And when it came time for Disturbed to take a break, they went on hiatus in 2011, I believe it was. And
Okay.
at that time, they decided they were going to do a side project.
Sure.
And kind of out of the blue, I got a phone call from Dan, and he's like, we're putting together this thing, and would you like to be a part of it? And of course, I was like,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. And so we did that. We did one record and 2 legs of a tour.
What was the single on that record? I forgot. I remember there was a single that was on the radio from.
It was a great record.
Yeah.
Such a good record.
We got a little bit of traction on the radio for a little bit. But it was like maybe a couple legs of a tour, and then it was time for Disturbed to come back out.
Yeah.
And they offered me an opportunity.
Wow.
To come out with them, and it was pretty kind of incredible turn of events. That completely unexpected, and but it all started because of being in this band.
Yeah.
And being
scene.
creative and being in the scene and releasing original material, and so it's been quite a ride.
That's an awesome story.
And then
still don't
Sound
believe
of
that.
Silence came out, and Dan plays piano on it. So Jeremy went from touring, teching to now then performing with the band.
Yeah.
Really?
He did Conan and all kinds of shows and.
So yeah, it's maybe like 5 songs in total.
Wow, that's still cool though.
Not every one of them are performed every night.
Sure.
You know, but Sound of Silence, I think, will probably arguably be in the set forever, the rest of their career.
Right.
That's a great cover, man.
It is a great cover.
Everybody I know, even like the girl I'm dating, she's into country music. She goes, I love that cover. I love it so much. Everybody's just.
It was actually Mike's idea.
No
to
way.
Cover that song, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and the Conan O'Brien performance, that was nominated for a Grammy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Now, that blows my mind.
The live performance of that on Conan was nominated, yeah.
So, did you get to meet Conan? Did you get to shake his hand?
You know what? He actually wasn't there.
What?
Yeah, he wasn't even in the building.
Oh, man.
When we went in the morning, and you know how it is, like TV production. There's
Sure.
It's a lot of waiting around, you know, while they set up everything. And so when we saw... When it aired the first time, I remember it's funny because you know, Conan's intro for it is like he taped it after the fact.
Yeah.
You know, but it.
Well, TV magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it was cool being in the studio. You know, seeing the big Conan bobblehead backstage and that.
Nice.
It was quite the experience.
Wow. Well, you guys are both really super talented musicians, man. I know that your journey from Bellevue Suite to the Disturbed stuff and even continuing with Bellevue Suite, it's all well deserved. You guys are so fucking talented. And I just wanted to say, you know, how much I admire that. Mike, your voice, your playing, and you gig all the time. You guys gig all the time. Now that things are starting to kind of get back to normal, I see everybody playing out more, and I love that. And I've already seen you guys play live a couple times now.
Yeah, you did a show.
Yeah.
It was really nice, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great time. So, all right. I'm excited to hear you guys play. I'm sure everybody else is watching this. So thank you very much for sitting down in the interview.
Thank you, brother.
All right. You guys take care.
You too, mate.
I want to thank Bellevue Suite for doing this interview, and I'm excited to hear them perform live later for you guys. It's going to be awesome. All right, so moving on now. Last episode, I told a little bit of a tour story, and I had a couple people say, hey, I kind of wanted to hear more of your tour stories in a little bit more detail. So I decided I was going to share another tour story with you from back in my touring days. I was in a band called Maraschino. We were playing around the Milwaukee area, and we toured the country, went down to Florida, California, and if you listened to the last episode, you heard about how we got stuck in the mountains, and I actually found a tour diary video from years ago that has some footage from that. I'll post it in the comments in a little bit here. But I'm going to tell you guys a story about the best gig we ever had on the road. It was incredible. It wasn't even scheduled. So we had the night off, and we're traveling from California to Billings, Montana. We had a show to play in Billings, Montana on Halloween. So we're traveling on Friday. We have the night off. And we pass this place, and our tour manager's driving, and he sees this sign that says live music tonight. So his thought was, maybe we could set up and play a set. You know, we got the night off. We got nothing to do. And, you know, looks like they got, you know, stuff going on there. So the tour manager goes up to the owner, and he goes, hey, man, he goes, mind if we set up and play a set or something? He goes like, oh, we got a cover band playing tonight and tomorrow night. He's like, tomorrow night's the big night. Tonight's kind of the warm-up night. But if the band's okay with it, I'll give you guys a pitcher of beer and free pool. So that's a pitcher of beer and free pool that we didn't have before. We're like, heck yeah. So the band was a little hesitant at first to let us set up and play, but we decided to work it out where we would use their gear. So we just plug in our guitar to their amps, and when they needed a break, we would go ahead and we'd play a set, and that's how that went. Well, what was supposed to be 1 or 2 sets turned into 5 3-song sets every time the band needed to take a break or drink some beer or whatever. By the end of the 5th set, the owner had called everybody in town. We went from a 10-person audience to about a 200-person audience, telling everybody, hey, you got to come check this band out. They came out of nowhere. They're traveling. They're from Wisconsin. They're really good. Over 200 people at the bar. We sold over $300-something in merch that night. And by the end of the night, the owner was like, hey, do you guys need a place to stay? And we're like, well, we were planning on sleeping in the van, so sure. What do you got? He goes, I got a room. The heat's not really working that well, but I could throw some space heaters in there for you. And we're like, sure. That's cool with us. Step above the van. So we walk into this, it's a log cabin, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We're feeling like rock stars after we just played the best gig ever out of nowhere that wasn't even scheduled. There was a girl at the bar that I met. I remember she was, her name was Casey Jones, like the Ninja Turtle hockey mask person. Her name was Casey Jones, and her friend and her were hanging out, and they liked this, and it was all cool. Her friend had a little too much to drink, and I was busy performing, and we only had 1 pitcher of beer between the 5 of us, so I was like, I could take you home. So we get in her friend's truck, Casey Jones, her friend, my guitar player, and me. I'm driving her truck because I didn't drink that much of the beer, and it's a stick shift, and I don't really know how to drive stick shift in this Ford Ranger truck. And I end up getting pulled over by the police, and they're asking me where I'm going, and I'm thinking, I'm freaking out like I'm going to jail in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. We're going to miss our gig tomorrow, which I ended up missing anyways because we got stuck in the mountains. I was freaking out. We ended up getting past there. Apparently the blinker didn't work right or something. Cop let me go. I was like, thank God. Get back to the lodge, go to sleep, wake up, and the owner, the night before, he says, guys, when you wake up in the morning, why don't you come down, I'll buy you breakfast too. So now we got beer, pool, merchandise sales, nice audience, really nice log cabin, and free breakfast. Out of nowhere, out of nothing. That just goes to show you, sometimes you just got to make the best of any situation and always ask. I mean, if we wouldn't have stopped and asked, our tour manager, Andy, if he wouldn't have stopped and asked if we could have set up and played, we never would have had an incredible gig. The most incredible gig of our touring lives. Shout out to Ponds Lodge in Idaho for an incredible gig back when I was touring with the band. Thank you guys so much. It was awesome. I believe the place is still there, actually. So speaking of ponds, people in Wisconsin like to fish. There's nothing like throwing your line in the water, reeling in a big old catfish. Now, if you've been in the dating scene within the last 5-10 years of the internet era version of the online dating and all the things associated with that, you know that there's 2 different versions of yourself. There's the online version, and then there's the real version of you that exists. And sometimes that can create for some interesting scenarios, dates, and sometimes dating horror stories. So I'm going to share a little dating story I had from years ago in the internet era. I met this girl online, of course, you know, which I guess a lot of people do nowadays. That's how that goes. And I've been catfished before by people, so I'm cautious going into everything moving forward at that point. So I'm like, hey, you know, I'd like to see more than 1 or 2 pictures, you know. So she sends me a bunch of pictures. I get the green light, thumbs up, let's go. Set it up. So I'm supposed to go pick her up at her house, and we're gonna go out to dinner. Simple, easy date. Nothing weird about that. So I pull up into the neighborhood and I lose cell phone service, so I can't contact her. I know the address though, so I go to the house, and it's this mansion, this huge mansion. I'm like, okay, does this girl own a mansion or what's going on here? Oh, no. So it's her parents' mansion, and I can't contact her that I'm there, so I have to go knock on the door. So little nervous, knock on the door. Dad's cutting the grass. Mom answers the door. Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? My name is Eric, and I'm here to pick up your daughter. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell her. She'll be out in a minute. Sounds good. Go back to the car. I'm waiting. And then all of a sudden, 1 step out the door she gets, and I realize that I got the Wish version of my Tinder date. I'm like, oh man, not again. You know, so it gets worse. She steps in the car, shuts the door. She starts talking, and she does not stop. I cannot get a word in the entire trip to the restaurant that we go to have our dinner. And so we walk up to the door, and out of the blue, she turns over to me and she goes, hey, you know, if we get the table in the back, I'll go under the table. And I'm like, no. We're not doing that. We're getting the table by the window. There's a nice view. It's fancy. That's great. So we got an appetizer. I had to get a few drinks to get me through. And I wanted to be a gentleman. I just didn't want to like cancel on her right away as soon as she got in the car and be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, that's not nice. I don't like doing not nice things to people. So I wanted to go through with this so bad. And now I'm regretting my decision to do that at this point. And we sit down, appetizer. I need a drink or 2 to get through. So between the appetizer and the drinks, and I think she had a water, I think the bill was $120. And that's how that went. and I ended up taking her back to her parents' house, and she asked if if I wanted to go on a second date, and I said I do not, and that was it. So that's my dating horror story of how I got the Wish version of my Tinder date. So with that said, I want to hear your dating horror stories. If you want to share them in the comments, you want to send me a message, or you want to email them at cherrypitstudios@gmail.com. If you got a really good story, I'd love to tell it on the show and keep the names anonymous. And if you got something really, really good that I use on the show, I will give you a $20 Amazon gift card to help you recover from the emotional trauma that online dating has caused you. Well, thank you guys very much for tuning in to Season 1, Episode 3 of Cherry Pit Live. We're going to take it to the live room now for a special performance of Just Love by Bellevue Suite. We will see you next time.
Are you wearing yourself out? Are you tearing at the seams? If you're feeling weak, you feel just like me. Are you hiding from yourself? Are you falling to your knees? If you're breaking down, then you're with me. Open up and let it out inside your scream. Free your frustrations, lay them down and stop the healing. Turn around, don't run. It's just love, ain't just love you're running from. Are you drowning yourself out? Are you fearful of the end? If you're burdened by your lack of faith, you comprehend. Open up and let it out inside your scream. Free your frustrations, lay them down and stop the healing. Turn around, don't run. It's just love, ain't just love you're running from. And everything appears in vain. Don't stop believing. Faith and hope will find a way to keep love breathing. Turn around, don't run. It's just turn around, don't run. It's just love, ain't just love you're running from.